Caitlin Clark and
I'm a fan.
Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
They're going back and
I'm a
forth.
fan of both.
And Jamil Hill says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
She said about Angel Reese?
She said Angel Reese, by the time she retires, can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires, she will be the MJ.
They said she'd be the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, a bold claim for a player whose college rivalry had already become legendary. But then, in a game that promised to define her professional ascent, she delivered a shocking 4 points. Her fiercest rival, injured, sidelined, watching from the bench. What happened next wasn't just a bad game. It was a public takedown so brutal it sent shockwaves through the entire league, exposing a harsh, undeniable truth. This isn't the rivalry you thought it was. It's a star's rapid implosion, and you won't believe how quickly it all came crashing down, reshaping the landscape of women's basketball. To understand this fall, we have to go back to where the fire first ignited.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living you-know-what at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did. It would have never gotten to this point.
We have a lot of folks that have come to the defense of numerous WNBA players because they were pointing out, like, this has been going on before long and people are not hating on her. It's not about hating on her. It's that you feel she is getting a level of attention that you deserved and you warranted long before she ever came along.
The fuse was not lit on a professional court. It was ignited in the crucible of college basketball, a simmering tension that erupted into a full-blown inferno during the national championship game. One player, with her audacious confidence, her daring shots, and her signature on-court taunts, had already set the stage, drawing both adoration and fierce opposition. But it was the other, with a defiant wave of her hand and an iconic "you can't see me" gesture, who delivered the viral counterpunch that instantly etched both their names into the annals of sports history. This wasn't just a game, it was a cultural flashpoint, a seismic event that fractured fan bases and amplified underlying tensions.
New season tipped off this weekend with several marquee matchups on the slate. Most fans were excited to see Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The game was a blowout as the Fever beat down Chicago 93-58, with Clark's triple-double leading the way. But the biggest headline coming out of the game on Saturday is the investigation the WNBA is conducting into allegations of hateful fan comments directed at Angel Reese. It happened after this play when Clark slapped at the ball after Reese grabbed an offensive rebound.
Whispers about the white player and the black player began to circulate, casting a long, complex shadow that would inevitably follow them both into the professional ranks. That singular, electrifying moment solidified a rivalry that felt unbreakable, destined for epic WNBA collisions. It promised not just competitive basketball, but controversy, compelling narratives, and a dramatic storyline that would propel an entire sport forward, drawing unprecedented viewership.
Because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine.
Every fan, every analyst, every commentator braced themselves for the inevitable WNBA showdown, eager to see which personality, which skill set would ultimately prevail. But no one, absolutely no one, was ready for the sudden, dramatic, and utterly devastating plot twist that would soon unfold, threatening to derail one side of this highly anticipated rivalry before it even had a chance to truly begin. The stage was set for a championship battle, but what we got was a public unraveling.
Second of it. Your thoughts?
Oh, first of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points on opening.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level.
The WNBA season tipped off with an unprecedented level of hype, largely fueled by the arrival of these two highly anticipated titans. Fans, old and new, braced themselves for the ultimate showdown, a clash of contrasting styles and magnetic personalities. Then the game arrived, one of the most anticipated matchups of the early season, pitting the Indiana Fever against the Chicago Sky. But what transpired was not the epic duel everyone expected. Instead, something went terribly fundamentally wrong. One of the league's most talked about rookies delivered a performance so baffling, so abysmal, it left jaws dropped and headlines screaming. A mere 4 points. That's it. 4. The number itself felt like a cruel joke, a statistical anomaly that defied all logic and expectation for a player of her perceived caliber.
I'll elaborate a little bit more on that in just a second, but before I do that, I want to ask you your thoughts about apparently some racial animus that was thrown in the direction of Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have gotten involved, talking about they're going to protect their players at all costs. The WNBA has issued a statement saying it abhors and discourages hate of any kind, etc., etc. Your thoughts about it? Here's the WNBA statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. Your thoughts about that element of all of this, where you believe it emanates from, and do you think it will ever subside?
Oh, man. The latter part of that, Stephen A., is quite the thing to think on. I think when you go back to the impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese, I remember funny clips on the internet.
And here's the kicker, the detail that sent shockwaves through the entire basketball world. Her rival, the very star everyone wanted to see her face off against, wasn't even on the court. She was on the sidelines, nursing an injury, wrapped up like a mummy, sipping Gatorade, reduced to a spectator. This meant the stage was clear, the runway was open. There was a golden opportunity to step up, to dominate, to prove herself without her rival's immense shadow looming over her.
Caitlin Clark's or Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark, because when Caitlin Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark once it was Caitlin Clark's turn to have her comeuppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous. Now, Angel Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated, and that's unfortunate because we got some no good ass people in.
Instead, she tripped, stumbled, and put on a clinic in offensive invisibility. It was a failure of epic proportions, a moment that instantly redefined her early professional trajectory, leaving everyone asking in disbelief what in the world had just happened. How do you walk into a game where the main attraction is literally icing her ankle, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna have the worst game of my career today. Let's make it memorable.
This is only women that get this. I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you want from them? We cannot, every time the girl plays a game, she got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful they have been.
The aftermath was swift, merciless, and brutally public. One of sports media's most unfiltered and impactful voices, Stephen A. Smith, didn't just offer commentary on the game. He turned his microphone into a flamethrower, incinerating the underperforming star's ego trip for all the world to see. He slammed the brakes on her hype train with the force of a head-on collision, bringing the entire narrative to a screeching halt. With incredulity dripping from every word, he questioned how a player with her stature, her undeniable swagger, and her larger-than-life personality could perform so dismally when the main attraction was literally icing her ankle on the bench. His critique wasn't just critical, it was a surgical dismantling, a public execution of expectations that left no room for doubt or defense.
The Goose comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats.
Every single point, or more accurately, every single point not scored, became a damning testament to a shocking underperformance. His words, delivered with trademark fury and precision, echoed across social media, turning a single bad game into a sprawling public indictment. He was forcing the entire basketball world to confront an uncomfortable truth about her true readiness for the professional stage. The sting of his words, sharpened by the undeniable statistical evidence, was just the beginning. It was a wake-up call, a stark reminder that in the unforgiving world of professional sports, charisma and past glory mean little without consistent, tangible production, and the reverberations of his unfiltered fury would be felt far beyond the court.
She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard. When it was really all said and done, we know what she brings to the table.
Yes, she grabbed rebounds. Oh, how she lives for those rebounds. She pulled down board after board, sometimes 12 in a single game, hoarding them like they were gold bars, boxing out opponents with the ferocity of someone auditioning for a CrossFit commercial. You'd think each rebound came with a coupon for free Chick-fil-A, the way she snatched them, fiercely, possessively. She's undeniably the rebounding queen, a monster on the glass, a true force in battling for offensive and defensive possessions. But points, buckets, actual offensive contributions that swing games and fill box scores beyond a single category. It felt like she was doing the game a favor by simply existing on the court, by not dropping double digits as if scoring was beneath her.
I actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
Well, she's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Yeah.
While she was busy collecting rebounds like they were Pokemon cards, gotta catch them all, but never seemed to do anything truly impactful with them. The other, more crucial side of her game was visibly crumbling. She was dominating one aspect of the game, yet failing spectacularly at another, equally vital one, putting the ball in the basket. And in the midst of this unfolding performance crisis, another layer of pressure emerged. Allegations of hateful fan comments directed her way, prompting the WNBA to launch an investigation and issue a stern statement condemning such behavior. As the league scrambled to address off-court negativity and protect its players, the stark, undeniable numbers on the court screamed a far more damaging truth about the current reality of her professional trajectory. The defensive prowess was there, the offensive game conspicuously absent.
Part, unfortunately, it comes with the crown.
I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant.
The whispers in the locker room, the hushed conversations among teammates must be absolutely deafening. Imagine the scene. Teammates grinding it out in practice, sacrificing, pushing their limits, watching her perform what can only be described as glorified cardio for 40 minutes, while they, the rest of the squad, are left to carry the actual scoring load, the burden of putting points on the board. Imagine being a hungry young player on the team's roster, busting your tail in practice, dedicating every fiber of your being to the game, only to get a paltry 2 minutes of game time, while a perceived star plays 30 minutes, collecting 12 rebounds that dishearteningly lead to absolutely nothing impactful in the grand scheme of the score.
Key Robinson of the WNBA will be Caitlin Clark if she stays healthy. There's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like she's the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years, and you watch I know her. She's our meet, but you look at some of these names, you see some of these people on how they do.
It's not just frustrating, it's a morale killer, a visual representation of a glaring strategic miscalculation by the front office. The team's coach, Tyler Marsh, seems to be playing a confusing, desperate game of Rubik's Cube with her positioning. One moment she's a power forward, the next a stretch 4, then something else entirely. What even is that formation, coach? Fans might wonder, seeing the constant shuffling. It's not a development strategy, it's coaching roulette, a desperate attempt to solve a problem that tactical adjustments simply cannot fix. It suggests a lack of trust in her ability to perform the basics. And then there are the ominous sports whispers circulating like a scent of desperation in the locker rooms. Murmurs of her potentially being benched, dropped from the starting lineup, or arrested for development reasons, which in the cold, hard language of professional sports is merely front office code for we don't know what to do with her, but we can't say that out loud. This isn't just a slump, it's a public crisis, raising profound questions about whether a massive bet on a player known more for celebrity than consistency was a catastrophic miscalculation. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, even sidelined with an actual verifiable injury, somehow remains the WNBA's undisputed main character, the focal point of every conversation. She could be in a full leg brace, shooting hoops from a wheelchair, and she'd still command more attention, generate more buzz, shatter more sales records, and probably drop more buckets and assists than her counterpart did in that infamous game. Even on her worst day, or even a day she's completely out, Clark contributes. Her jersey sales are breaking unprecedented records. Her very presence drives viewership to new heights, and she's still getting double teamed like Steph Curry's long-lost cousin who perfected the three-point shot. She's the tide lifting all boats, bringing an explosion of new fans and attention to the league. The contrast is not just stark, it's a brutal, unforgiving indictment. Clark's very existence on the league's main stage, her effortless ability to draw focus and deliver results, highlights every single hole in her rival's game. It's like putting a glaring highlighter on your typos for the world to see. While Clark is out with an injury, still dominating the narrative, the other player is out there with a healthy body, a clear runway, and somehow manages to trip over her own potential. It's become so clear, so painfully obvious, that it's like watching a Roomba trying to navigate a shag carpet, constantly struggling, getting nowhere fast. The sheer, undeniable brilliance of one inadvertently exposes the alarming struggles of the other, creating a growing chasm between expectations and reality that cannot be ignored. Let's be brutally honest, the WNBA is not college where you get a gold star for trying, where past highlight reels earn you playing time, or where you can coast on personality and NIL deals. This is the professional arena, a merciless gauntlet where past glory and college clout mean absolutely nothing if you can't consistently put points on the board and deliver tangible results. Her career arc in these early stages is starting to look unsettlingly like a viral TikTok trend that burned bright, exploded onto the scene, but then rapidly fizzled out after 2 weeks. Remember the milk crate challenge? That's her current trajectory. Started high, took one wobbly step, and now we're watching in slow motion as the collapse begins, with no obvious redemption arc in sight. Every game, every minute on the floor is now an audition. She's not just playing basketball anymore. She's fighting for her very place in the league, for her relevance, for her future. You don't get to coast on motivational Instagram bios, impeccably laid lashes, or perfectly manicured nails. The league doesn't do charity minutes. It demands production. If you're not scoring, if you're not contributing in meaningful ways beyond a single stat, you're sitting. And right now, her most significant contribution to the team might genuinely be her courtside fashion. This isn't the season she promised, not the Bayou Barbie domination tour. This is the desperate struggle for survival, a high-stakes test that she is currently failing, and the professional game is unforgiving. So what ultimately becomes of the rivalry that promised so much, the one that ignited a league and drew millions of new eyes transcending the sport itself? It's tragically becoming an exhibit in how immense hype and past glory, no matter how dazzling, don't always translate into to hard-earned, consistent professional performance. Fans were sold the dream of a fireworks rivalry, promising soaring ratings and epic confrontations. Instead, they got one player literally carrying the league narrative on one leg even when injured, while her counterpart is out there running wind sprints dressed up as professional minutes. It's like buying VIP tickets to a concert and realizing the headliner forgot all their lyrics, delivering a disappointing performance. The experiment with her simply isn't working, not until she finds her game and fast. Her team, aiming for greatness, will never be better until they address this elephant in the room. You simply cannot build a winning team around someone whose most consistent stat is their public attitude or their ability to collect rebounds without converting them into meaningful offense. There are only so many "I'm her" tweets you can post before the box score definitively begs to differ. Overrated, a word often thrown around too casually, is starting to feel like a severe understatement for a player who, despite immense personality and college success, struggles so profoundly at the professional level. The clock is ticking, the stage is still there, ready for her to reclaim her narrative, but the spotlight, it's rapidly shifting, and if she doesn't light it up soon, if she doesn't find her rhythm, her shot, and her consistent offensive impact, she won't just be off the court, she'll be out of the conversation entirely, a cautionary tale of unfulfilled potential, lost to the relentless, unforgiving grind of the professional game. The WNBA doesn't have time for redemption arcs without actual redemption. It demands production, and if she can't deliver, she will swiftly go from overrated to utterly irrelevant in record time.